Numbers chapter 9 verse 7, these men say, hey, we were taking care of some dead people, we were contaminated by being around, the dead bodies. We want to be able to give this Passover offering,
right.
Pesach Sheni, but, what are we going to do? So it's got like a classic case of standards versus compassion. And Moses didn't know what to do, so he went to God and said, okay, you can do it, but at this time. So they keep both the standards and their compassion.
It's total compassion.
And standards. They don't just say, oh, you're exempt, you don't have to worry.
No, but they wanted a chance to do it.
And so they gave them a different time when they could do it.
It's total compassion.
They couldn't do it at the same time as like everyone else.
Well, they were on the.
They
weren't on the. That time had passed. Okay, let's get the timeline for people. You have to bring a carbon Pesach. You have to bring this Paschal lamb on the day before Passover begins. You have to bring it to the base of Mikdash or the Mishkan. But what if you're like caught in traffic that day? You can't get to Jerusalem, and you miss out. What happens? You just you're fucked. You lost. You lose. Too bad. And they said, no, you can do a makeup. You can do a do-over. You wait 30 days. You get what's called now Pesach Sheni. We're going to make a new holiday for you, and you can come and you can bring your carbon, and you can have a little bit of charosis and a little bit of the whatever the hell you have to eat, and then you eat all that stuff a month later and you get it. That's called compassion, my friend. Compassion. Something you don't have. That's why nobody likes you.
There's no talk in Torah about so long as you feel Jewish or you act with Jewish values, you don't need to do any rituals. Torah is all about doing very specific stuff, most of it rituals. It's about not doing very specific stuff, such as eating non-kosher food. So, who would ever say, I don't have to show my wife I love her, I just have to appreciate her values? Like, no wife could endure being appreciated for her values, but not for herself. So you have to step up, you have to perform. You can't just say, oh, I believe in Jewish values, I don't believe in Jewish law.
And who says that?
Dennis Prager.
And isn't it ironic that the guy saying it doesn't believe in Jewish law and only preaches Jewish values? Isn't he the hypocrite right there?
So, Numbers chapter 9.
Are you going to answer that?
I've answered a million times. He keeps to a certain degree.
Yeah, he keeps Jewish values, but he doesn't keep Jewish law. Okay, yeah, that's...
Numbers chapter 9, verse 14. One law for all residents of Israel, whether they're converts or born Jews.
Right.
So the new head of the Democratic National Committee, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, complains that Republicans want to make being in the U.S. illegally a crime.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz wins a Jewish dipshit of the year. Every time she opens her mouth, something stupid comes out of it.
Do you think it's because she's blonde?
She's just a retard. It's like...
And she could drop 50 pounds. Like, I don't like.
Well, I don't care about the way she looks. I really don't. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the crap that spews out of her mouth. She's an embarrassment to Jewish people. I can't stand her. She's my least favorite. I think she's my least favorite Jew in Washington, D.C. And believe me, there's some that I can't stand, like Barbara Boxer. But this one really gets into my gut. I really can't stand her at all. But here's the thing on the Torah aspect of what you were talking about. Mm-hmm. You brought her up about illegal aliens. That's got nothing to do with converts. Where it says in Numbers 9:14,
one law for all residents of Israel.
One residents, that means the convert that lives amongst you shouldn't be any different. He also has to bring a carbon Pesach. Illegal aliens or whatever, just a non-Jew who happens to be, they can't even participate in this. A non-Jew happens to be walking through, crosses the border from Syria or whatever. They can't bring a carbon. They're not a Jew.
Right, but they're still accountable to the law.
No, but here's the point. Here's the point. We treat them like illegal aliens. Torah treats a goy who just happens to mingle, walk into Eretz Yisrael, and he can't just here's a great example. You ready? Mm-hmm. Pico Robertson. Let's say Pico Robertson, 100% Jewish, and a goyish family moved in the middle of pick a street,
Cashier.
A goy family moved into Cashier.
Pickford and Cashier.
Pickford and Cashier. They don't cross. They're parallel. But some goy moved in. They're getting rid of that. They cleared out that shul. that kollel at the corner. Did you notice that?
No.
Well, let's say like some goyim moved in there. They built an apartment.
Goyim church.
No, they built just the goyim moved in. Okay, here's my point. So they're the only goyim in the whole neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So comes Shabbos, they want to belong to your shul, and they want to get aliyahs. And they demand aliyahs, right?
And they want maftir.
And they want maftir. And
they want to say the haftarah.
They want the Misha Berach, and they want to say the haftarah, and they want to lead the davening, and they want to know. They want to have a say.
And they know it better than the Jew who's about to read it.
And they want to have a say in what we talk about on the show. So they're really pushing their way in. Of course, that wouldn't happen. It's always the other way around. The Jew moves into a goyish neighborhood and starts telling everybody what to do. But the goy shows up, and he's like telling everybody what to do, and he wants a piece of the action, right? He's like, he wants his cut. Well, Torah says, you know what, buddy? That doesn't work like that. You can't just bust in here and you're one of us. It doesn't work that way. The rules are the rules. We follow the law of the Torah. That's it. So that's, you don't get to bring a carbon. Levi, who did the work, and he became one of us, right? He became a ger, and he's one of us. He's invited. He gets an aliyah. He can do everything because he's a Jew. The goy who moves in, you moved in, you don't get nothing. So that's like an illegal alien. I mean, the guy came here legally, but he's still an alien. He's not one of us, right? Somebody crosses the border illegally. We don't start giving you welfare, and like we reward you for breaking the law. Hey, congratulations, you just broke the American law. It's a felony, but here's what we give you.
We'll give you in-state tuition.
We'll give you in-state tuition, and we'll give you a driver's license, and you can have all the jobs that Rabbi Rabs wants and can't have because he's not willing to work for the little tiny wage under minimum. So it's like this is the problem. All right, I think we covered that. Go next.
I hate to do this. I really need to wrap it up. I've got some problems going on where I'm staying that I need to be there for.
Seriously?
I mean, it's just sewage and plumbing and stuff.
Sewage and plumbing has a priority over Torah?
Yeah. So, I mean, like if you've got 60 seconds or 2 minutes of stuff that you want to do.
Let's see if we can take some quick questions from the chat room and then we'll get out of here. Did we cover everything you wanted to cover from this week's Torah? Yeah? Okay, we covered my part. All right.
Oh no, there's one more thing. Can we?
Oh, boy.
Sorry. This is really important.
Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, at the end of his book, Out of the Shadows, Understanding Sexual Addiction, Dr. Patrick Carnes writes that we can help addicts by the, quote, elimination of jokes that degrade people's struggles with their sexual compulsivity, such as flasher jokes,
they're so
dirty
improper.
bookstore jokes. So are people who act out sexually creeps, or are they just ill and in need of treatment?
You answer that, Levi.
I'm fine either way. Like, I dig flasher jokes and dirty bookstore jokes.
I think we've done them here tonight, haven't we?
And I'm fine with castigating freaks and creeps. So, but on the other hand, if you're a creep or a freak and you feel like you need to get treatment, you should go get treatment. So.
All right, let me see what's happening in the chat room. Okay. Garden Fun. Kim's in there here. Hey, how's it going, Kim? Or is Garden Fun a Lior? I can't remember. Okay. Where are we? Yes, makes sense. I'm stop doing that a little. Got 1,000 birds.
No, there's nothing really in there.
This thing working? Nothing. The chat is. Rabs, I forgot my password. Reset my entire login. Blah 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 blah. All right. There's nothing in there. So.
Yep. Love you guys.
It's so important.
The kiddies out there don't do crack and you stay in your shiva. And you take care of your sewage problems so that you can do long Torah talks, not have to end them abruptly.
So that was a pretty long show, but not as long as last week because we didn't have sewage problems.
I was about to. I ended it prematurely.
Okay, which is kind of your habit.
Without Cialis.
All right, folks. So same time next week.